If you're just getting started with exercise and you're looking for a great full body home resistance workout, then don't go anywhere because this video is perfect for you. If you don't know who I am, my name is Will Harlow and I'm the Over-Fifties specialist physio here at HT Physio in Farnham. And today I'm going to be showing you a great full body resistance workout that you can do at home, which is perfect for beginners or people over the age of 65. Now, resistance work is so important, especially for people over the age of 65, because it's been proven to build stronger muscles and build stronger bones. And having those two things makes you more mobile, more independent, and safer on your feet. So just getting started can be difficult sometimes, but I've got a great program for you if you're not really used to exercise. So we're going to have a look at it in just a moment. But before I show you it, I just wanted to let you know that not all of these exercises are going to be suitable for everyone. Make sure you get checked out by your doctor before you give them a try. And if they cause you any pain, just avoid them. Anyway, let's have a look at the routine now. So here's a super full body home resistance workout for beginners and over 65s that doesn't require any special kit at all. The aim of today's workout is to get through as many muscle groups as possible in as short a time as possible. So this shouldn't take you any longer than 15 minutes at home and should give you almost a full body workout. So here's what we're going to do first. We're going to find a wall that your wife or husband doesn't mind you leaning against. You're going to put your back and your bottom against it like this, and your feet are going to be about 18 inches away from the wall. Now at this point I'd recommend you do this in shoes. I'm just going to do this in socks because I'm quite happy with the grip I've got here. But if you don't have very grippy floors, we can slip. So make sure you have your shoes on when you do this exercise. Now what we're going to do here is something called the wall sit. This is a great exercise for strength, particularly in your quads, and you'll feel this working very quickly. So what we're going to do is we're going to keep our knees over our toes and we're going to slide down the wall as far as we feel safe. You don't have to go right down to a 90-degree angle. And when you start to feel the tension in your quads, you're just going to hold that position. And the goal here is to hold the position for 30 seconds. Now what you'll start to feel here if you've got your feet in the right place is no knee pain, but quite a lot of tension in your thighs as if they're contracting quite hard. And this is what we call an isometric contraction of the quads. And an isometric contraction means we're contracting the muscle, but it's not changing length, it's staying static. So it's almost like pushing against an object that can't move. So once you've done your 30 seconds, you're going to come up, you're going to shake the legs off, you're going to wait for 10 seconds just to give your legs a chance to recover, and then we're going to go straight back down into another repetition. So we're going to come down, hold for 30 seconds. This 30 seconds is going to be harder, so you might not want to go quite as far if you're doing this at home. And once you've done your second 30 seconds, again, you're going to come back up, hold for 10, just let your legs shake off, and then we're going to do a third one. So you're going to come down again and hold for 30 seconds. So all in all, it's 90 seconds of work with 30 seconds of total rest across all of the sets, and you'll start to feel your quads working quite quickly as you do this exercise, and it's a great first thing to do before we move on to our second leg exercise in a moment. So the second exercise we're going to do today is the sit to stand. It's one of the best resistance exercises that you can do at home. All you need to make this work is a chair. Dining room chairs work really well. And if you want to make this a bit harder for yourself, you can use a weight, which we'll get to in just a moment. Now the exercise is super simple. All we're going to do is shuffle right to the edge of the chair. So you've just perched on your sitting bones. You've got your feet flat. You've got your hips at 90, your knees at about 90 degrees as well. We're going to take our hands out the way so we don't cheat. And then we're going to take our nose over our toes and come forward and up, pushing through the feet. When we're at the top, if you don't feel safe going back down, you can take a little step back just to feel the chair. You can do it here if you feel safe enough. And then what we're going to do is stick the bottom out and bend the knees, keeping the back nice and straight and taking 4 seconds to reach the chair. And we want to reach the chair landing like a feather. So there should be no noise when you hit the chair. It shouldn't creak, it shouldn't groan, and it shouldn't sound like something's just landed on it. It should be silent. Then we're going to go again. So come forward and up. If you don't feel safe, just step back, feel the backs of your legs on the chair, and then stick your bottom out bend your knees and slowly, slowly, slowly return to the chair. And again, so come forward and up. Feel the backs of the legs against the chair, stick the bottom out and slowly, slowly back down. Now I recommend that you do somewhere between 5 and 10 repetitions of this in a row without any significant rests on the chair or at the top. So it should be keeping it moving throughout the set. And if you can do that very easily and you don't get any working ache in your thighs or in your glutes, you can find something to make it a bit harder. So I'm going to use this little dumbbell. This is about 8 pounds or 4.5 kilos, something like that. And we're just going to put the dumbbell close to the chest like this. And this is basically just going to add to our body weight. So again, the exercise is the same. We're just using a little bit of resistance. So we hold it close to the chest. Again, nothing changes. Nose comes over toes. We come forward and up and then straight back down. So stick the bottom out, lean forward. You can see here, I'm keeping my back nice and straight. It's my hips that are doing the bending. And then once we land, we go straight back up again. So using a bit of resistance is obviously a great way to make this exercise harder for people who can get to 10 repetitions without feeling anything. This is what you need. If you don't have one of these lying around, which most people don't, you can use household items. You can fill a bag full of books and hold that into your chest like this. There's so many different things you can hold on to which work really well. It doesn't need to be a purpose-built dumbbell, and I'm sure you'll be able to find something lying around the home. For this exercise, you're going to do 10 repetitions in a row. You're going to have 1 minute's rest between sets, and you're going to repeat that process for 3 sets. So that's a total of 30 repetitions with a minute's rest between every 10, and then we're going to move on to the next exercise. Before we go any further, I just want to tell you about 3 Tip Friday. 3 Tip Friday is my weekly email that I send out to my list, and it features 3 of the most interesting things I've found that week. It could be a health tip, it could be a piece of research I'm reading, or it could be a new tool that I've found to be really useful for helping people get more mobile. It's totally free. I just send it out once a week. There's no annoying promos inside, and you can sign up for it by going down below this video and entering your email in the 3 Tip Friday link. Now we're going to move higher up the body to the shoulders, and we're going to do an exercise called the lateral raise. And I've got my dumbbells ready to go here, but you actually don't need dumbbells. If you've got little weights, you can use them. But it's just as good to use things like tins of beans or bottles of water, or even, dare I say it, bottles of wine. They can work quite well as well, just to add a little bit of resistance to your arms. Now, you do not need much weight. So I'm going to do this with, again, just the 4.5 kilograms. I'd recommend most people start with about 500 grams, which is about a tin of beans, that kind of weight, up to about 1 kilo if you've got a little dumbbell there. A bottle of wine probably falls halfway in between. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to bend down and pick up our weights, holding 1 in each hand. I'm going to stand up really tall, and then we're going to take the dumbbells or the weights out to the side and slightly in front of the body, trying to make it so that your elbow is slightly higher than your hand, and then come back down. So again, we're going to go up and out. Now, I don't know if you can see from this angle, but my arms are drifting slightly in front of my body, and that is on purpose. Because most people over the age of 65, if they go directly out to the side like this, their acromion, which is a little bone in the shoulder, jams down into the humerus, and that can cause an impingement. Now, this doesn't happen for everyone, but there's just no extra benefit to doing it straight out to the side as opposed to slightly in front, and it just seems a lot safer for most people. So we call this the scapular plane, and the exercise is called a lateral raise. And it's one of the best exercises for building strength in the shoulders. Now, once you've done a set of these, what you'll start to feel is this area of your shoulders aching, and it should be a nice working ache. It shouldn't be a pain like something's getting crushed or pinched, and it should feel like a fatigue. And to get that fatigue, we want to be working possibly to about 15 repetitions in a row. So that's why we're using a small weight, because we're not just trying to do big heavy movements for a couple of reps, we're trying to do more reps in a row. So 15 repetitions is fine. If you can work up to 20, that's great. But if you can do more than 20, you need something heavier. So again, the routine looks something like this. You're going to do 15 or 20 in a row. You're going to pause for 1 minute to rest, and you're going to repeat that 3 times over in total. So that's 3 sets of 15 to 20 repetitions. And if you get to the end of that and you can't really feel anything happening in your shoulders, you definitely need to find something a little bit heavier. But if you can't get at least 10, you need something lighter. So that is our rep range. Somewhere between 10 and 20 works brilliantly. And then we're going to move on to the next exercise. So the next exercise we're going to do is the wall press up. And this is a great exercise for strength in your chest and in the backs of the arms as well. It's also a good exercise for the core muscles, so it tackles quite a lot of the body as we do it. And I said before we're using resistance exercises today, and this is a resistance exercise because even though we're not moving weights, we're moving our body weight, which counts just as much as dumbbells or barbells. So all we need for this exercise is a wall. This time, definitely check with your partner that they don't mind you putting your hands against the wall. And we're going to put our hands out in front of us, about shoulder height, and you're just going to slowly walk your feet back until you've got a nice gap between your toes and the wall. You can see here that I'm in a diagonal now, and I'm supporting my body through my hands like this. Now, if you have trouble with your wrist range of motion and you can't put your hands like this, it's absolutely fine to weight bear through your fists. You'll still get a really good outcome with this exercise. So I'm going to put my hands nice and flat, and you want to feel that you're easily able to just lift up onto your toes like that if you need to. Now the exercise is very, very simple. You're going to keep a straight body, so the body should be in a nice straight line. You're going to bend your elbows and you're going to touch your nose to the wall and then come back up. So again, we're going to go down, touch, and back up. And people often ask me with this exercise, does it matter whether my elbows are down like this or if they're out like this? And the answer is not really, but it will change the muscles that you work depending on where your elbows are. So if you really want to work your chest, it's actually better to let your elbows go wide and you'll feel it more in your chest muscles as you do it. And if you want to work the backs of your arms, the area where the bingo wings are, then you can keep your arms quite tight like this and you'll feel it more in your elbow muscles instead of your chest. But either way will work both muscles. We're probably talking 60-40 as a switch. And what we're going to try and do is 15 repetitions in a row of this exercise, keeping the movement going. So it should be 2 seconds down, 2 seconds up, keeping that range of motion to make sure you're touching your nose on the wall when you do it. Now, if you can do 15 and you don't feel anything happening, it feels super easy. You can obviously go a little bit further away. Again, just be careful that you don't slip on the carpet, because the more the angle, or the greater the angle here and the gap between the wall and your feet, the harder the exercise will be. So repeat 15 in a row, 1 minute's rest between sets, 3 sets in a row, and then that's a nice workout for the pushing muscles in your upper body. And then the final exercise I've got for you today is the calf raise. And this is one of the best exercises for people over 65, because the research shows that as we get older, we lose strength in our calf muscles, and this jeopardizes our walking, makes it slower and more effortful when we lose that strength. So building the strength back up in the calves is very, very important for people who want to improve their walking, and it's easy to do at home. Again, all we need is a wall. I'm going to face the wall for this one, because then I've got 2 hands on. And what we're going to do is stand nice and tall, keeping just finger support on the wall. We're just going to push up through our toes, go as high as we can on our tiptoes, right to the sky if we can, and then very slowly come back down. So we call this a heel raise or a calf raise, and we're pushing up as high as we can. Perhaps you can see my calf contracting. Come down, back up. And again with this exercise, this is one of those ones where you want to do as many repetitions as you feel you can before it starts to get tired. Now the calf is a very strong and durable muscle. It has really good endurance, which means it can take quite a hammering, and it takes quite a bit to make it better. So that's why we aren't paying as much attention in this exercise to number of repetitions. You might be able to do 15, you might be able to do 20, you might even be able to do 25, but whatever you do, it is going to be beneficial as long as you work to the point of fatigue in this muscle. That is so important. It has to feel tired at the point that you finish, otherwise nothing's really happened. So you're going to do as many as you can before it starts to get tired. You're going to have a minute's rest just to shake the legs off. You're going to go again, and you're going to repeat that whole process, this time for 4 sets. So we're going to do an extra set of the calf raises just to reflect the fact that this muscle is a little bit more durable than other muscles in the body. So that's a great full body home resistance workout for beginners and over 65s. I hope you found this video useful. If you have, do drop a comment below and just let me know your thoughts. And if you want to get more from me, you can pick up a copy of my book. It's called Thriving Beyond 50, and you can find it on Amazon using the link below. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate your time, and I'll speak to you on the next video.